Medic, I realize I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna faint. I'm gonna faint. And I immediately just fall to the ground.
Thea, are you okay? Concentrate on your breathing.
The top 5 have been given 1 hour to create a multi-course tasting menu for 8 mystery guests.
I've never tried to do 8 dishes in 1 hour before. It's nuts.
Woo.
And the pressure is getting to Thea.
Oh my God. My pressure cooker is going bananas. It's causing this huge mess all over my station. Why did I do this to myself? Why?
You okay, Thea?
Yeah. I know my maid is okay, but I need to clean this up. I need to keep going. It's a nightmare.
Don't lose focus, Thea. You got this. You got this.
It's a total mess.
So Thea has abandoned the pressure cooker, but skirt steak's best friend is a pressure cooker when you only have 60 minutes.
Oh, it's nice and tender. Oh, I'm just gonna chop it up then.
You know, Thea's off to a bit of a bad start, but we've seen her pull things together many times before. So hopefully she'll be able to get things back on track.
I'm trying to stay strong. I'm not feeling very good. I'm trying to take breaths, but I'm breathing really heavily, and I'm realizing that I'm pushing myself really far, and I am just trying to plow through it because I don't want to not have anything on the plate. When I said I wanted to be pushed, I didn't think I would be pushed this far. Medic, I realize I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna faint. I'm gonna faint. And I immediately just fall to the ground.
Oh no.
I can't.
What is going on? Thea, are you okay? Concentrate on your breathing.
Thea, she is just crumbling right now, and I'm just so worried for her, and I hope she's okay.
I'm down on the ground, and all I can think about is I want to finish this dish. I want to finish the cook.
You're so close right now. Don't give up.
I'm a fighter, and I never want to give up. Eventually, I'm able to stand and feeling better, and I just want to get in there and do the best I can.
Welcome back, Thea.
Thank you.
Thea's got the all clear from the medic, and she's back at her station.
You do it, Thea. Thanks, May. It's not going to be what I wanted, but hopefully I'll get something.
Thea has incredibly strong character. Muscling through and going back and cooking, it's absolutely incredible.
So that was unfortunate, but you know, the pressure in this competition is so intense that I think at times it can really get into your head, and that's what happened with Thea. It's good to see that she's back now. She looks like she's strong and refocused.
30 seconds! You have 30 seconds left, come on! We want beautiful plates full of details. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up!
Your guests will no doubt appreciate your efforts. But I suppose you could just ask them yourselves, because they're here. No, not back there. Right here.
The 8 culinary VIPs are the 3 of us and the 5 of you.
Very cool.
The special guests are us.
It's a precedent-setting first in the MasterChef Canada kitchen. You'll be judging and being judged all at the same time.
Interesting.
Easy on me, guys.
You are taking over our job tonight. We just get to sit back and enjoy the food.
At the end of the meal, each of you will be asked to rank each course, from best to worst, all except your own. That will determine the results.
Tell us what you're serving us tonight.
Chef, in the theme of Italian-inspired dinner, what better choice than a take on a caprese salad with burrata, Iberico ham, some smoked tomato, there's balsamic reduction, caramelized fennel, and rye toast. I like the subtlety of a starter dish, not being too crazy. We're not trying to wow you, we're trying to enter into the meal. So that was what I wanted to do.
Interesting.
Serving food to my fellow competitors is exposing because they get to see what my flavors taste like, and vice versa. So it's good and bad.
Thea, what are your first impressions of Andrew's dish?
I think it looks beautiful. I enjoyed all the textures. There's crunch, there's creaminess. I thought it was pretty well-rounded.
Thank you.
I also really enjoyed the textures, that smooth burrata, and then getting the crunch from the crostini and the Iberico ham. He did say he smoked the tomato, but I wasn't getting any smoke from the tomato at all. Tasting Andrew's dish, I just feel like I've had these flavors before. There's nothing truly unique or special about the salad.
That smoke, I would have just left it out because it's very difficult to smoke with tomatoes.
Yeah.
I didn't get enough of the basil notes, which I think is really classic in a caprese salad. But that might have been the only thing I would have maybe emphasized a little bit heavier.
I agree with the comment around basil and maybe like more acidity from a citrus just to brighten it up a little bit, but overall, great play and texture.
Thank you. Because we have to judge each other's dishes and we're competing against each other, the food is gonna matter less than I want it to, and people are gonna start playing strategy games.
So I made a lobster and spot prawn capelletti. I also made a seafood stock out of the lobster shells and the shrimp shells. And then I made a chili oil with prawn heads. And then I just finished it off with a touch of miso and a touch of yuzu in there for some flavor complexities.
It smells really good.
Thanks, Thea.
Andrew, does it taste as good as it looks?
I think it's wonderful. It does look great. I like the broth. I like the play on Italian, but using some of these Asian components. I would say maybe just use either shrimp or lobster, not both.
I do agree with Andrew. I think either spot prawns or lobster, maybe just lobster in this case would have been better, especially with the spot prawns cooked texture can become a little bit mushy sometimes because of its delicate nature.
Beautiful presentation as always, May. I like all the flavors. The yuzu is really surprising. The broth is delicious. Texturally, I would have liked a little bit more like chunks of lobster in there. I like that bite.
I actually agree for the most part, most of the critiques about my dish.
It's a very strong dish, May. You got some very strong components in there. Broth is beautiful. You should not have used the two to do filling. Spot prawn, I would never try to overcook it because it gets very mushy. Other than that, not enough caviar, but that's me, Rich Alvin.
I enjoyed the dish immensely. The flavors, the taste, the texture. I do share Alvin's comments. I'd like a little more caviar on it.
I think, May, you keep surprising us with your level of skill. The pasta is perfectly rolled. With regards to the spot prawns, I would have just laid those on top of the pasta and then draped a little bit of the hot chili oil on top of them and lightly cooked them. Just kind of kissed them with the oil, and you would have a masterpiece.
Thank you, Chef.
Andy?
Chef, today I made a play on patatas bravas with confit crispy potatoes, garlic and lemon aioli on bottom, some sliced in octopus, radish, a little bit of manchego, and then bartuga. I think I missed the Italian a little bit here, but this is where my brain went. So lots of components, lots of different flavors, very much an Andy dish here.
Christopher, what do you think of Andy's dish?
Well, I really like his play on the patatas bravas here. Those potatoes are nice and crispy. I really like that combination of that garlic aioli with that beautiful paprika and tomato sauce. The cook time on the octopus could be a little bit longer. I did find it a little bit chewy, and the radicchio garnish as well added a bitterness, but not enough freshness to the dish, and this dish is very rich.
Yeah.
I do agree with Chris that my octopus was a little bit tough. I loved all the textures and how they combined together, but not the octopus. And he did take a little detour away from Italy to say.
I think I probably would have added just a little bit more citrus because it is kind of heavy, and I like things a bit salty, so maybe just a tiny bit more salt.
Yeah,
but other than that, I think it's great. It's tasty.
Thank you.
Patatas bravas, obviously not Italian, but for me, I would have liked one of the octopus tentacles whole so that it presented it nicely, and then you know that that's the star as opposed to like a garnish. Otherwise, not bad.
Sure, there was a couple missteps, but I think that this dish represents who I am.
What I'm getting from this dish, for me, is your attitude. I think the dish is very bold. There's a little rebel inside of this dish. I wish that it would have had a little more refinement. I think you should have cut the potatoes differently. The octopus should have been one whole tentacle coming off, grilled and charred.
Andy, I like the dish a lot. It's got great flavor. The octopus, I agree. If they were cut a little bigger, a greater presence to it, and maybe just a touch more botarga.
Yeah.
But a nice, flavorful, well-rounded dish.
I'm not bothered at all by the detour. I think as long as it's a very tasty dish, I don't care where it comes from. But overall, you know, I like the dish because I think it complements May's dish because her dish was more delicate and your dish was more rustic. They're very different in texture, but this is what a tasting menu means, complementing each other.
Perfect. Thank you, Chef.
Today I have a ravioli dopi, 2 raviolis together. One side has nudillo sausage with some braised skirt steak, and the other side has lemon ricotta. And then it was supposed to be with a reduction that got burnt, so I just did a quick beef reduction with that.
May, tell us your thoughts on Thea's dish.
It was a small bite, but I enjoyed it. The spiciness of the andouille was really nicely countered by the lemon ricotta. And the broth that's currently in here, I got a deep, rich beef flavor.
The presentation I actually really liked. I thought it was really beautiful. The ricotta was lovely. I found the sausage a little bit overpowering and a little bit salty for me.
There's some valid points, but I also feel like there's some not so valid points.
Christopher, how do you feel about having another pasta at this point of the menu?
I think our menu could have been planned a little bit better. We have had a lot of starchy courses coming up to this point.
May, in retrospect, do you wish that you'd been a little more flexible, maybe?
I think neither of us really wanted to relent. We just had that idea in our head. A protein really should have been a fourth course for sure.
From the total menu planning standpoint, I feel like we let down what our original concept was. However, I think the fact that there's even a dish in front of us is a testament to her strength as a cook and her never give up attitude. And that's incredibly admirable. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I have to agree with Andrew. I think the dish itself is really strong. The pasta is perfectly rolled out. The broth, I think it's rich and intense, maybe a bit too salty, but overall, there's nothing wrong with this dish.
Thank you.
Thea, I really like the dish. And I'm not overcompensating because what happened. I think that in terms of presentation for a tasting menu, it's probably the most appropriate. It's pretty, it's simple, and it gets to the point. The fill, unfortunately, let you down a bit. I would not have picked skirt steak because it's very tough, it's very dry.
I tell you, it's a nice little dish. I think you could have had a little bit more of that braised beef in the bottom of that broth.
Yeah.
It came down to time and the challenges that you faced today.
Thank you.
Today's dessert is a truffle vanilla bean ice cream. Underneath is a bit of a pistachio powder. You have the chocolate mini pastry, which is filled with a chocolate mousse and a liquid caramel center, and dipped in a hazelnut chocolate coating. And then finally on the base, you have a lemon calamansi gel for some acidity.
I love truffles and adding savory into a dessert, but like truffle ice cream and chocolate bar are things you wouldn't usually put together.
Whoa. You're a very strange man.
I've never tasted anything like that in my life.
Andy, what do you think?
I think my brain's trying to catch up to what I just ate. The truffle ice cream, when I first ate it, I didn't think I liked it, and then I started really liking it the more that I ate. It's so fun.
None of the flavors really worked for me. I really enjoyed the chocolate mousse and the caramel, but then you go over to the truffle ice cream and it's just punching you in the face with truffle. And then I get the acidity from the calamansi. I don't know, it kind of doesn't make sense to me right now.
It was really rich and delicious. I am in agreement with May, though it feels kind of like two different things on a plate. And when you eat them all together, it's a little confusing, but I can check off the list that I've had truffle ice cream.
I feel like I want to spend a minute in Christopher's brain. I think he's a mad scientist in the best way. The truffle is extremely interesting, which is something you wouldn't expect in a dessert. It was creamy, the texture was amazing in the ice cream.
If I had known that it was my fellow cooks who would be doing the tasting, I would have dumbed down the flavors a little bit and made it a little bit more comforting, not so polarizing for my fellow cooks.
Christopher, I gotta tell you, when I tried the truffle ice cream, it just sucker punched me. And I loved it. I thought that it was bold. It reminded me a lot of the way I cook. I want my food to stand out. I think you did the same thing. Your food really pops.
I think if you'd taken the truffle, infused it into the chocolate, where they two would work together so much more in a subtle way, and then have the ice cream as a foil to round things out, heaven.
Chefs sometimes have to challenge people. If you're confident, then stick with it. You gotta have that strength there. I don't think you should change it at all.
Thank you, Chef.
It's time to move to